The Lost Prophecy. Oops. There you are. We have been looking for all over for you. I came as quickly as I could. What's so urgent? I finally have it. Have what? At the school, I've been waiting since the beginning of term to read it, but it's been checked out all this time. Anything hard to get a hold of in our library must be dangerous and terrifying. Ben's right, whatever's in here, we know it's going to be worth reading. Do you mean you have waited all this time, but you still haven't read it? Of course, I wanted you to be here when I open it. There's no telling what's inside. Personally, I hope it contains recipes for rare and new potions. I hope it contains strong defensive spells so we can better hide ourselves from dangers. Neither of those sound right to me. It's probably something we haven't thought of yet. Speaking of which, now that you are here, I can't wait any longer. I have to know. The school's incomprehensible. It seems to be another language altogether. Based on the notes that fell out when we opened it, seems someone must have been translating it. They were absolutely terrifying. One says purebloods, another says at Hogwarts, and another says untimely death. But put together, they don't bode well at all. What's worse, the drawings inside point to Hogwarts subjects that could make the notes even more frightening. There are drawings that look to be tarot cards and one that looks to be a crystal ball. Crystals and tarot cards are tools of divination. The school has something to do with divination. Those notes we found could be part of some kind of deadly prophecy. How terrifying. We have got to tell whomever is in danger. Hold on, we don't know anything for certain. Perhaps we should talk to whoever wrote the notes. If the school came from the library, it should have a checkout record. We can find who it was and talk to them. That sounds great, but there's a problem. Unlike normal library books, the school has no checkout record. I know someone had it out, though. I kept seeing it open on a table in the library, but Madam Pince wouldn't let me read it or check it out because she said it was still on loan to someone. I'll go talk to her. Once we know if someone at Hogwarts is in danger, we can do everything in our power to keep them safe. No sign of Madam Pince. If I can't talk to her, I'm not sure how I'll find out who left those alarming notes. I have to think of someone at Hogwarts could be in danger. You look awfully nervous. You must be looking for me. You always seem to need my help. I'm looking for Madam Pince. Have you seen her? You just missed her. She's on an errand. I knew she needed my help, so you do know where she went. I do. If you want my help, you are going to have to own it. I want to know what this is all about. Tell me why you need to talk to Madam Pince. So you need to talk to Madam Pince, so you can find out who last had the mysterious unreadable school. Not so fast. What's the school? Like I said, the school is unreadable, so we don't know for certain, but I can tell you there are theories based on the notes we found inside. The drawings suggest it's a book of divination. Penny and Ben said they could be dark and dangerous prophecies about someone here at Hogwarts. It's time for you to keep up your end of the deal. You said you would tell me where Madam Pince is. Needed to talk to Professor Flitwick before she went to Flourish and Blots. If you hurry, you can probably still catch her in the Charms classroom. Then I can find out for certain if someone at Hogwarts is in danger. Well, she doesn't. Oh, she is here. Hello, so madam, I hope I'm not interrupting. Not at all. I was just making a few recommendations to Madam Pince. Before Madam Pince goes to Flourish and Blots, I was hoping I could have a quick word with her. I can't tell you that, it's private information. You may find out why Mr. Dane wants to know. He could have a good reason. Then I suppose I can let you at least explain yourself. If your reasoning is strong, perhaps I'll reconsider. Now that you have explained yourself, it sounds to me like you need this information for educational purposes. We were having trouble reading the school Penny borrowed from the library, but the person who wrote the notes inside should be able to help us understand the contents. To know the young student who had last had the school, but he tends to keep to himself. However, since your reasoning was sound, I'll relay your message and let him know what you have told me. That's perfect. Thank you, Madam Pince. I really must be going. I'll send an owl to let you know if the other student is willing to meet. I'll wait for you, Owl. With any luck, I'll finally get to talk with the student who can explain these ominous notes in the school. Who's the student? Who's the student? Said the student who last at the school would meet me here. I hope he could help me interpret those ominous notes, but I don't see anyone. That's me. I'm here. I mean, I'm not the books. I'm behind the books. Hello, I'm Doc Hostain. I know I'm excited to meet you, but I'm afraid you caught me in the critical moment. I've been thinking about this puzzle all day, and I think I have just glimpsed the answer. I've got it. The sequence is 934. Brilliant. Did you just waggle your fingers? Was that a spell? Just something I do when I'm thinking very hard. I'm Lenny Pindlebrook. By the way, as you may have noticed, I love puzzles. It's my thing. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm not sure what my thing is, but finger waggling and puzzles are nice. Your thing is adventure. How exciting to think you may be on one right now. I know loads about you. I'm a you behind you, and I have paid close attention to your accomplishments. I wanted to be sorted into Gryffindor just like you, but I suppose I'm a pretty good fit for Ravenclaw. You probably haven't heard of such or seen of me since I spent all my time in the library. That's right, told me you were having some trouble reading, and I'm happy to help you with that. But we did find ominous notes inside. I thought perhaps you might have left them behind. That's why I wanted to meet with you to see if you could help us make sense of the school. I've been working on that school for ages now. I'm happy to tell you everything I know about it. So you're saying the school is in a different language? It's unreadable on purpose. It's encoded with something called a cryptogram, one of my favorite kinds of puzzles. Cryptograms are ciphers to code. You do that by searching for common words or phrases, which may repeat in the code, like the or an. Sounds a bit complicated. It is wonderfully so, and this particular cryptogram is amongst the hardest I've ever seen. It uses a variety of languages and images, picture patterns in the code. It's taken me months to make any headway at all. You were working on the complicated cryptogram. Precisely, I've been working at it diligently for ages, but the notes you found are as far as I've gotten. Luckily, Madam Pince is quite nice to me, and she let me keep it out for so long. She likes me quite a bit. Gaining Madam Pince's affection is no easy feat. Appreciates that I stay quiet. I keep to myself and almost never take a book out to the library. She let me keep working on the school cryptogram this whole time because she knew the school would be safe. About the library's materials, I suppose that all makes sense. I know you haven't decoded it in full yet, but I'm curious, after all the time you spent with the school, do you have any theories as to what it's all about? Let me think about it for a moment. After careful consideration of everything I've seen so far, I'd say the school is probably a history of some kind. Perhaps about Hogwarts or someone who attended. Based on the drawings, we thought it would be a book concerned with divination when we saw your notes about the untimely death. We feared it was a book of dark prophecies. I hate to admit it, but that's certainly possible. At least with what I've been able to read so far, the only way to know for certain would be to crack the cryptogram and decode the rest of the school. Based on what we have seen so far, my friends and I think someone at Hogwarts could be in danger. I originally turned the school back into Madam Pince because I'd hit a wall. There was an image pattern in the cryptogram that I just haven't been able to crack. I'm all out of ideas. That would be brilliant. Lenny Pindlebrook teaming up with to work on cryptogram with the Darko Stain. I'd say it sounds like a wonderfully fun time if the stakes weren't so high. Let's just say I'm excited to get back to work. Meet me in the astronomy tower. Help me solve it, and then I'll crack the cryptogram. Hope you won't wait too long. I came as fast as I could. I'm quite curious to hear after the code in the encrypted schools has to do with our astronomy class. There's one image in the cryptogram that has been giving me trouble. Studied it for weeks before I noticed an important clue. Each image corresponds to a constellation. It means the images I've been studying are actually a sequence of constellations names. Sequence goes Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and then there's a blank Let's get started then. There's something I need to know. Puzzling together requires a lot of trust. I know we just met, but do you trust in my puzzling abilities? Of course, you sound like you know what you're doing. Now listen closely. Study the astrolabe and find the pattern in these constellations. I see why you're having trouble. I can't spot any clear pattern in the astrolabe, but I did realize something. According to some of the students here, the names you read before aren't just constellation; they are astrological signs. Perhaps we are looking for the wrong place. We may not need the astrolabe at all. The thought had never come even occurred to me. To be honest, I don't put much stock in astrology as a form of divination. I prefer the clear logical system of arithmetic. What? If I'm right, a quick look at the astrology textbook could be enough to find the answer we are looking for. Bill, and I'll meet you there. Then we'll know for certain if someone at Hogwarts is in danger. I got all the books on astrology I could find. Thanks, Sonny. Now we can get to work. We need to see if I'm right. I can't believe I didn't think of it. I'm so happy you were there to help. Don't thank me quite yet. We still need to identify the pattern and fill in a blank in the sequence you read. Let's read these books. I got it. The series is missing an astrological sign for July and August. Think of it, each sign corresponds with 2 months. Taurus is April and May, Gemini is May and June, Cancer is June and July, and then there's a blank. By order of Molin, I think you are right. That's the constellation name we are missing. The sign for July and August. Do you recall which sign and constellation corresponds? No, I do not. Fuck it. No, I'm afraid it's incorrect. Leo. That's it. Leo's the missing one. Thanks to you, we have completed the sequence. I just need time to plug this all in. And crack the cryptogram, and then I can decode the scroll and we can read it. Brilliant. I'll go tell Penny and Ben the good news. Hi, Penny and Ben. Thanks for meeting me. I've got great news. I hope it's about the school. I've been terrified someone at Hogwarts will face an untimely death. As it turns out, the school is encoded with a cryptogram. That's why we couldn't make any sense of it. He's the code of the school as we speak. Then we can read it and find out who, if anyone, is in danger. Here's Lenny now. The school must be ready to read. It's nice to meet you. But do you have something in your eye? Or perhaps you are practicing your spell? Your fingers keep wriggling. Excuse me, sorry, it's nice to meet you. I am thinking quite hard, actually. That's alright, tell us what happened. I see, so you cracked the cryptogram and you were ready to decode the scroll, but now it's gone missing. I'm afraid after cracking the code, all I needed to do was finish decoding the text. I got up and from the table to consult the book in the stack, and when I came back, the scroll was gone. Are you mad at me? No, it wasn't your fault. Someone must have taken it. I'm quite glad to hear that. I'll promise to do everything I can to help you. If it went missing in the library, perhaps someone picked it up and checked it out. I was certainly eager to snatch it up the moment it was returned, and I may not be the only one. If someone checked out, Madam Pince should know who it was. I'll go talk to her. Billy, let's go to Madam Pince and find out who may have taken the school. We still don't know if it holds stock prophecies about someone here at Hogwarts. Could be any of us. Alright, we just need to find Madam Pince and ask her who checked out the school. I don't see her anywhere. She's still in Flourish and Plots or on some other errand. Hopefully she'll be back soon. Let's search where you had the school while we wait. I didn't find the school, but I did find the spring of valley and roots. It could belong to whoever has a school. Yes, perhaps someone was on the way to potions class and dropped it. I believe Professor Snape is reviewing the jar of love and death earlier today. That is a key ingredient. I couldn't help but notice you two searching all over the place and waving roots in the air. Tell me what this is all about. Lenny and I were studying the school you and I discussed before, but it seemed someone may have taken it. Has anyone checked it out from the library since Penny did? So no one has. That means it was stolen. I knew something just like this was going to happen. Normally I would ban you from the library for destroying or disappearing school property. Before taking up what? I will forego the punishment. This is one time provided you locate the school. I can't be banned from the library, Docos. The Hogwarts Library is my whole life. It's my home. We have to do something. We have to hurry. I'm sorry to get so worked up. I can't believe I lost my cool in front of you. But probably think someone so devoted to the library is a bit odd. Yeah, not odd at all. Many of my closest friends are library devotees, like Penny and Rowan. Knowing you feel that way will help me stay calm. Good, because we've got to go to potions. If no one checked it out and misplaced it anywhere around here, it seems like someone took it. There was one person who seemed to take an interest. She is the type of witch who may take a library item without checking it out. It's time I went and had a talk with Mula Stein. There you are, you and I need to talk. Someone took the school we discussed just as Lenny was starting to decode it. I told you before that it could contain dark and dangerous prophecies. I'm waiting to hear why you're telling me all this, because I have a theory as to who may have taken the school, a theory only as good as its theorizer. We found a spoon of Valiant root at the scene of the crime, a key ingredient in the jar of living death. And I understand you were reviewing that very potion earlier today in Professor Snape's class. We don't have time to play games. I need to read that scroll, so give it back. Do you really not have it? I can't believe you fell for that. You really are gullible. I'd love to stand around touching you all day, but I really don't have time. You're right, I took the scroll on the way to class. I had it for a while, but now I don't. End of story. Not going to let this go. I'll tell you what happened. So you did take the scroll, then you tried to read it in Professor Snape's class and he confiscated it. I was on my way to review Jar of the Living Death when I saw the scroll just sitting there. I tried to hide it in my potions book, but Professor Snape noticed just as I was realizing the scroll was Tosh. You made it sound like the scroll was some great mystery thing when we spoke before. It was a cryptogram, Mueller. Lenny and I just cracked the code when you stole it. He was starting to decode the text so we could finally read it, but now I'll have to go to get it from Professor Snape. If we don't return it to the library, Madam Pince said she would ban us, and based on what Lenny has translated so far, there's a concern that someone at Hogwarts may be in danger. I've said all this before to you. If you're just going to read the scroll and return it to the library, even he can't object to that, can he? Oh, he will. There you are. I was hoping to have a quick word with you, make it quicker than quick. I have an appointment. I'm looking for a piece of property Mueller took from me. She said you confiscated it. I'm hoping to get it back. I know just the school you're talking about. I assure you it's safe here in my classroom, but I won't be giving it to you. I have a good reasons for wanting it back. If you just hear me out, I'll be quite curious to hear why acquiring this particular school is of such urgent importance. After hearing you explain yourself, it seems you have several reasons to want the school back. My friends are eager to find out what the school says, to make sure no one at Hogwarts is in danger. Then Lenny and I need to return it to the library so we don't get punished for it. That's quite a consequential school. To properly address your concerns, I need to know which of these reasons is most important to you. I just want to help my friends that are invested in getting the school back and finally reading it. If you truly want to help your friends, you'll listen to them. You'll tell them to forget about the school. This isn't any business of theirs. The school wound up in the library by accident. It should never have fallen into student hands. I have already spoken with Madam Pince, and I will make sure the school is returned to the rightful owner. I've told you more than you deserve to know. It's none of your concern. I must be going, or I'll be late for my appointment. Why is Snape hiding the identity of the school's owner? I'd better go tell everyone what happened. If we want to get to school and find out if someone at Hogwarts is in danger, we may need to get creative. We can't wait to hear how things went with Professor Snape. I asked for the scroll and confirmed that he has it, but he wouldn't give it to me. You said my devotion to the library doesn't make me odd. The library is my whole life. Don't worry, Snape said he's already speaking with Madam Pince. According to him, the scroll was here by mistake. He said it was never meant to be read by students. If a student is at Hogwarts is in trouble, we deserve to know. I'll admit it's a bit heartbreaking to spend all that time cracking cryptogram and never get to read it. But we don't know where he is. On the contrary, he's told me exactly where he is. It's in his classroom. We just need to come up with a plan to read it before he returns. I think we've got a plan. We'll sneak into potions whilst Professor Snape is at his opponent. Lantley can quickly decode the rest of the text, and we can finally read the school's contents. And if anyone at Hogwarts is in danger, and I'll finally get the answer to the most challenging cryptogram. Now Lenny has to be there to decode it, and I have to serve as looker. We'll need one more to help us search. I'd like to go, but quite terrified at the idea of what could be in the school. I won't be at ease until I read it. I think you should come with us, Penny. You're the one who waited all this time. Now that it's decided, we better move fast. Alright, the coast is clear. Snape must still be at his opponent. He could come back at any moment. We have to find the school quickly. We have found it. This is the school. Now Lenny just needs to finish decoding it. I've decoded the text, but how the context of the school is not as what I thought they would be. It seems to be a family history of the Trelawney's. Do you mean Sybil Trelawney family, the Hogwarts divination teacher? She's a fascinating character. Yes, apparently some of the Professor Trelawney's family members are quite powerful. It is a great granddaughter of Cassandra Trelawney, a renowned seer. What's that? It's just a family history. Why do you think Professor Snape would keep this hidden? Clearly it's because he dislikes us. He saw a chance to make things harder on me. Can be prickly, but no one could dislike you. There is a section that details the many prophecies of the Trelawneys throughout the years. What do you mean prophecies? You perhaps our fears that someone at Hogwarts is in danger was correct. After the brightest day of an early year, a child of the raven of great wisdom, learning and wit, inwards of Potten, where his roots are lain, he will meet his untimely end. I'm sorry, I have to go, excuse me. Something in the school must have upset him. I'd better go talk to him. Whatever the ominous sound and prophecy meant could be exactly what Professor Snape was trying to hide. I'm sorry to interrupt you reading, but you ran from the potions classroom so quickly. I wanted to see if you're alright. I don't know. I know you told me you don't think I'm odd, but my devotion to the library. If I tell you why the prophecy upset me, there's no telling what you'll think. That's quite logical thinking. I suppose I can't argue with that. Alright, can you tell me about yourself then? Well, you think the prophecy we need read in Professor Trelawney's school predicts your immediate death? When you closely examine the prophecy language and consider my personal history, it's undeniable. Child of the Raven, great wisdom. But there are plenty of other Ravenclaws. What makes you think you're the one being described? But the prophecy says it will happen in the woods of Potten, where his roots are laying. Of course, like you said, you grew up in Potten, and you walk in the Potten wood with your father on holidays. There's one last thing. The prophecy says the death will happen after the brightest day of the old year. Connects because this is the one of the brightest days of my life. The day I got to spend with you. But I'm afraid if I ever go home again, an untimely end will be waiting for me. I'm starting to see why you are so upset. After everything, do you think I'm foolish for believing the prophecies about me? Based on what you have said, I can understand why you are worried. I can't focus on any books or puzzles. I can't live like this. Everything's torn around. I need to know if I'm right and if my next trip home will be my last. After all you have done to help us, it's the least I can do. It's time we pay the visit to Trelawney. Hello, thanks for agreeing to meet us. On the contrary, my inner eye has been alerting me to the inevitability of this meeting. I must thank you for the part you played in returning my family's school. It's a document of great sentiment value, and it should never have been circulated. If it's so personal, how did it wind up in the library? Are you alright? Excuse me just now. No, there was a danger in your future. I suppose my pins found it and quickly found it away. I'm glad it was returned to you, but we glimpsed at some of the prophecies. That was actually Lenny, but yes, he's quite good at puzzles. There's no harm done, unless, of course, one of the prophecies you read predicted harm. What we wanted to talk about. It says that young Ravenclaw from Potten will meet an untimely end in the Potten Wood. We were curious if you really think he has a cause to be worried. I will consult the school and consider the prophecy. See, after considering the school, you think Lenny is right to fear the prophecy? The more we discuss this one, the clearer my inner eye sees it. It seems your fears are correct. I'll do whatever I can to protect you. I'm sure Ben and Penny will do the same. Admire your loyalty, but I'm afraid the future. My powers are quite strong. In fact, the Greeks believed the steps you take to avoid your fate is precisely those that bring you to it. A false prophecy, I take offense at the mere suggestion. Perhaps I see so far into the future it's only sensible that none of my prophecies have yet occurred. Are you saying none of your prophecies have come true? That did no good at all, are you alright? alright. I'm more than alright. For the first time since we read that scroll, I feel a bit of hope. What do you mean? Everything she said expressed confidence in. She said she. What? But she wouldn't give us a straight answer when you asked if one of her prophecies came true. Perhaps she truly believes in her power, yes, but that doesn't mean that she actually has any. The way we see ourselves is often quite different. If there's any chance at all that the prophecy is wrong, I've got to look into it. Before I can accept what Prof. Trelawney has said, I need to do a bit of research. I'll send word when I have looked into a few things. There you are. I found exactly what I was looking for. I have no cause to fear the prophecy about my untimely death because Professor Trelawney is a false prophet. I was hoping you'd ask. I'll explain everything. Discovered Trelawney has a big, long history of predicting student deaths. She predicts a student death nearly every year and name. None of them have come true. That is quite interesting news, and it only raises a few questions. She must have some amount of sight. Perhaps she gets it wrong sometimes, but I don't doubt she has gifts. But her track record gives me hope that this prophecy could be one that doesn't come true. Why would Dumbledore hire a divination teacher who has such a dubious track record? Yes, that's quite puzzling. Perhaps there's not more to the story than we realize. Given the stakes are life and death, he will be happy to clear things up. Let's go talk to him. Thanks for giving us a moment of your time. There's something rather urgent we need to discuss. We found a scroll detailing several of the Trelawney's family prophecies throughout the years, and we came upon one that seemed to predict my untimely death, but it simply can't be true. Lenny looked into it and discovered that Trelawney often predicts student deaths, but none have come true. I don't agree, but Lenny believes Trelawney doesn't have sight and only given false prophecies. We hoped we could help. You could help us decide. I would be happy to discuss the merits of our divination teacher. But first, we must discuss your actions concerning the school of which you speak. Been led to understand it was under Professor Snape's protection, and you were told explicitly to forget about it. It's my life we are talking about, so if anyone is going to get in trouble, it should be me. I is the only one responsible for this matter. No one is to blame, sir. You both chose to ignore a teacher's explicit instructions, and that is to be taken lightly. But surely you can understand why we did it. We thought someone at Hogwarts was in danger. Given the urgent nature of your concerns about the school, I see why you felt your actions were necessary. It means you would be wise to let more of the promise of a prophecy guide you in your future. And it sounds like Lenny was right to question Trelawney's sight. Given the unique circumstances, that brings us to I will do my best to address your concerns. Though some of Professor Trelawney's prophecies haven't come true, it sounds like she is quite gifted. Prophecies are a tricky business, and determining their meaning or validity can be quite complicated. However, I assure you that Professor Trelawney has made her family proud, and she earned her position at Hogwarts with a prophecy that may be of great consequence for us all. I believe Trelawney's track record when it comes to predicting student deaths speaks for itself. I hope you'll trust me when I say you have no cause for concern. Can you tell me more about the prophecy of great consequence? Some prophecies are like a bottle of ink. If spilt, they can spread too quickly and cause irreparable damage. However, I do have one prediction to share with you. I predict the two of you will make a great team in the future. Mr. Pendlebrook's knack for puzzles should prove of use to someone with a taste of mysteries such as yourself. Thank you for everything you do. What is it? I wanted to thank you for all your help. And perhaps I got a bit carried away with the old timely death thing. As an apology of sorts and a token of appreciation, I got you a crystal ball. What a nice gift. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. But even if it doesn't, it can still help you remember the past.